I got Indian sweets, I got a slowly declining mental health, and a sudden urge to make videos to compensate for that. So here we are. It's a bit chilly. It just snowed. No, it didn't snow, it rained. Rained quite a bit, I'm not gonna lie. It didn't rain as intensely. I think the drops were just like very, very small, if that makes sense. So we got this box of Indian sweets from my friend Nish from India recently. I have a few interesting things. I'm gonna start with the white ball and the parallelogram. I forgot what this is called. Rhombus, whatever. Anyway. Ooh. Ooh, it's so good. It's very sugary, very soft. Ooh, It's kind of milky. I think she mentioned it's like milky. It's probably just like milk with sugar, maybe butter or something. Oh, it's so good. 5.5, 4.5 out of 10. Oh, out of 5. 9 out of 10 out of 10, honestly. Banger, banger, super banger. Well, let me clean my palate real quick. Now we're gonna try this. It's a rhombus thingy. Very similar. This tastes more milky. That one's more sugary. I don't know what that means. Oh my god, it's so good. It reminds me of like, I don't even know what. Maybe of like butter biscuits or something. It's so good. I love it. 10 out of 10 for both. Maybe actually the bowl is 10 out of 10. The little rhombus thing is like a 9 out of 10. You know, 9 plus out of 10. You know what I mean? Last 2 weeks I experienced a bit of a mental decline, like a slowly mental health decline in my mental health. That makes sense. That hasn't actually been that slow, if I'm being completely honest. Something that's been on my mind a lot has been finding a balance between all the little sides from my life. It's been a challenge for me for a long time now. There's like certain things that get highlighted every time I stay up too late, procrastinate going to sleep, procrastinate taking care of myself, procrastinate doing stuff that's maybe more important to me. And I kind of think it comes from a place of me just not really realizing 100% what I should prioritize to feel better. Specifically, you know, I'm talking about like prioritizing between friends, work, my creative endeavors, and well-being, right? Whether it's going to the gym or, you know, exercising, diet, sleeping is definitely a big issue for me. Whenever I think about it, I think the main thing that comes to my mind is always mindfulness. Not because I'm yearning to journal about my life as much as I think I need habits that will allow me to slow down. I think that's why I'm so addicted to smoking, is because smoking kind of, it's an excuse for me to take a break. It's like one of those moments where I'm actually fully allowing myself to not do anything else but relax, you know? Because I think the worst thing I do to myself is not allowing myself to take a break. Even on days when I know it's best for me to go home after work and just sleep, take a breather, maybe journal a little bit, maybe just go to sleep and wake up in the morning, go for a little workout, go for a little walk. Even if I'm gonna feel a bit more lonely, I think in the long run it's gonna make me feel better, but I still don't do it because there's a certain desperation in my head that's making me stay after work or stay with people longer, just a little bit longer than I should, you know? It's not that I don't have to go out. I think it would just help me if I was more in tune with my body and mind and was able to better notice when it's time for me to dip. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the next one I want to try is this orange thingy. It's like this weird kind of like, it was a circle, it got broken into half now, but it's this like weird kind of spirally thingy, looks almost like this kind of skeleton type of thing. I'm a little afraid of tasting it. This one seems more spicy, not necessarily in terms of taste, but like personality, you know what I mean? Oh my god. So there's definitely this like fried aspect to it. Like inside it's pretty soft, but on the outside it's a bit more crunchy. Again, very sugary, more oily than the other two. Very interesting. It's hard for me to understand what the actual taste is, like what the flavor is. I want to say that it low-key does give me a vibe of orange, but I think maybe it's just mainly that it's the color, but there's definitely a certain flavor there that I can't really make out. Really interesting, quite good. I want to put it on the level of the previous two, maybe like an 8 out of 10 for me personally. It feels more exotic, you know what I mean? So let's discuss this issue. I think a lot of times it feels like there's a fight between the two sides of me, right? Which I think is something that a lot of people can relate to, right? One side is controlled and fueled by fear and is desperate for human attention and validation. And then there's the other side of me that knows that while I do need people in my life to get a certain level of attention because I'm a social being and whatnot and somewhat of an extrovert, maybe more of an ambivert, but you know. And this side of me knows that sometimes it's better if I just go to sleep a bit earlier, you know? Better if I read a book by myself. And to me, I feel like when it comes to dealing with these two sides of me, I think it's good to fight on both fronts. Meaning, especially as I mentioned through mindfulness, for the side of me that's more desperate and fueled by fear and whatnot, to try to discourage it from engaging in these habits that are long-term detrimental to me. Maybe sometimes even just talk to myself, talk to this side of me as if I'm talking to myself and offering advice, being like, yo, it's cool, you know, you can relax a little bit. And on the other side, I'm trying to encourage the good side of me, the side that's trying to help me by getting through these tough times, by prioritizing my sleep and my well-being, by prioritizing solitude sometimes. No matter how extroverted we are, there always is some level of solitude that we would enjoy to actually process what's happening in our lives, right? One thing that's become apparent recently, been very highlighted, especially after a few discussions with my friends, is that even with a lot of the progress that I have made in the past, it's still very easy to fall into the trap of instant gratification. And in the moment, it seems like it's helping me, but long term, I know it's damaging me. Like, I've already experienced the damage and know firsthand that it's just not gonna be good for me. And the tricky thing is that this usually leads me to like a breakdown or a burnout episode without me even really realizing it. I kind of get trapped in these cycles and it doesn't even seem that bad because, well, to some extent, it's not as bad as it used to be. So in comparison, my mind's like, oh, we're in a good place. But the thing is, it's a better place. It's not necessarily a good place, right? And that's where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness helps me become more aware of how good of a place I'm actually in, and what things are actually working and what things are not. And on that note, on the notice of nut, let's try this nut looking thing. I'm gonna grab a napkin because it looks oily as hell. It's kind of a circular, what the f is going on here? It's really weird. It has these like black spots on it and stuff. There's like some veggie thingies. This one's scary. Yeah, this one definitely has some spices in it. Ooh. Ooh. So many flavors. So many intricate, feels like a web of flavors from all sides, different things hitting me. Yep. I found a nut. Ooh. Yo. I wish I knew what the name of this is, but I swear it's like something I put like on pasta. So quite sugary again, pretty sweet, but oh wow. There's a flavor in here that I swear it's like something I put in like pasta or something, or like in like sauces for carbs, you know? Ooh. The aftertaste is even better. Oh my god. When I take the bite, I feel all of these like individual like flavors fighting for to be like the more dominant, and then in the end they like all merge into this beautiful unique taste. On the flavor itself, I'd probably give this also like a 7, 8 out of 10. But in terms of uniqueness, this is a 10 out of 10. Probably the strangest sweet thing I've had in a long time. Just basic test, like a 7, 8 out of 10. Let's say 7.5. Give an actual, you know, number to it. But on the uniqueness scale, solid 9 out of 10. That was interesting. Going back to my to the main topic, or main-ish. There's two main solutions that I found recently. So one of them is prioritizing mindfulness, as I said. Even if it's a little bit, even just putting like kind of like a brain dump just to get the stuff out of my head. Even if it is something that's of use to me, but I just don't realize it right now. It's somewhere out there, so therefore I'm not as stressed about forgetting it. And of course, on top of that, journaling also just helps me kind of stay in line with my self-awareness. And another thing that's helped me a lot, I think, in the past week, I started biking more. There's quite a few benefits to it that are more or less indirect, right? So first of all, it doesn't really use my brain much, right? So it's a moment for my brain to roam freely, right? It doesn't have to focus on the biking too much, at least not most of the time, right? Sometimes it's a bit more difficult, but most of the time it can just chillax, think about some music, maybe sing a bit, think about some random thoughts. Either way, it's not too much strain on my brain. When I would take the tram or metro, sometimes I pull out my phone, I scroll. Sometimes I'll even pull out my MacBook and like write some stuff on it or try to work on a video or something, which is just low-key just not healthy. You know what I'm saying? That way I'm not using electronics as much, so again, it helps my brain relax. Finally, besides the fact that it's just a break for my brain, it's also cardio. It's exercise. It's healthy. You get my point. Now, before we get to the conclusion, let's dig into the last little bit here. So we have this big block of sugary stuff. Cheers. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so glad I left this for last. I know what this is. I mean, I feel like I've had this type of thing before. This is kind of like caramel nut, milk, hella sugar type of thing that kind of crumbles in your mouth. So well, I'm gonna take another bite, man. How you take another bite? I love this. Classic. I used to eat this a lot. Really good. Really good. This is gonna be... It's so hard, mostly because I feel like I would like for the scores to be more diversified, but it's like really good. It's generally really good, so I'm gonna put it at 10 out of 10. In terms of uniqueness, 5 out of 10. But yeah, taste is, dude, 10 out of 10. Banger. So for my final kind of message, so to say, chillax. I think it's very, very important to just chillax. Like you need to take a breather, take a little break, take a nap. The world moves really fast nowadays. Most importantly, it feels like it's moving really fast. And the thing is, it is. There's a lot of stuff that's happening on a daily basis, especially when you're connected to the whole world. So then there's just simply more stuff that's happening. You're aware of more stuff that's happening. But as much as I think it's important and a certain responsibility to be aware of what's happening in the world, I think it's also an even bigger responsibility to yourself to find time and energy to relax. Sometimes you just got to take a break, and you have to learn to allow yourself to take a break. Otherwise, your body and brain will take your break for you. I've been there. Trust, it's not good. And I'm sure a lot of you watching this have been there as well. It's not a pretty picture. This is how you master your confidence too. Master your confidence by allowing yourself to be you. Allow yourself to feel what your body needs, what your mind needs, and just do that. That's how you get happy, right? Everything stems from that. You know, it's not about being healthier to live longer. It's about being healthier so that you feel better and you live better. Thank you for watching. The sweets were amazing. Thank you, Nish, for this. Oh, I really need to take a shower though. Yo, that's my message. Chillax. See you in another one. Peace out.